In the heart of countless suburban neighborhoods, behind the pristine lawns, perfectly trimmed bushes, and uniform mailboxes, lies a silent force that governs the lives of millions. The Homeowners Association, commonly known as the HOA for some, it's the guardian of neighborhood charm. The invisible hand that ensures property values remain high and communities stay beautiful. For others, it's a relentless enforcer of unnecessary rules, surprise fees, and invasive control. The truth about HOAs is layered, complex, and often misunderstood. To understand HOAs, we must first peel back the history. The concept began gaining traction in the United States during the mid-20th century, a time when suburban expansion was booming. Developers realized that to maintain the aesthetic and order of their new communities, they needed an organization that could enforce certain standards long after the homes were sold. This gave birth to the HOA, a legal entity created by the developer but later managed by the homeowners themselves. On the surface, the purpose of an HOA seems noble. It exists to maintain common areas, enforce community standards, and ensure that everyone contributes to the upkeep of shared amenities like swimming pools, gyms, playgrounds, and security gates. But behind the clean facades and manicured lawns lies a world of rules, fees, fines, and, often, controversy. The first thing any homeowner notices when they move into an HOA-governed community is the stack of documents they are handed, often hundreds of pages long. These documents, known as covenants, conditions, and restrictions (CC&Rs), outline in excruciating detail what homeowners can and cannot do. Think you can paint your front door bright red because it matches your personality? Think again. Want to park your RV in your driveway? Not unless the HOA says so. Even seemingly minor things like the type of mailbox, the height of your grass, or the color of your window blinds might be regulated. For some homeowners, these rules are a godsend. They ensure that one neighbor doesn't decide to turn their front yard into a junkyard or paint their house neon green, ruining the aesthetic and potentially lowering property values for everyone else. The HOA, in this view, is the silent protector of order, harmony, and property investment. But others quickly realize that the HOA's grip extends far deeper than they ever anticipated. Sarah, a homeowner in an upscale Florida community, discovered this the hard way. After planting a small vegetable garden in her backyard, invisible from the street, she received a stern letter from her HOA. The letter cited a clause buried deep within the CC&Rs that prohibited non-ornamental plants outside of designated areas. Her choices were clear: remove the garden or face a daily fine of $100. Sarah's story isn't unique. Across the country, thousands of homeowners find themselves entangled in disputes over seemingly minor infractions. Another homeowner, Tom, was fined $250 simply for leaving his trash bins visible for a few hours past pickup time. Meanwhile, a retired couple in Arizona faced threats of foreclosure over unpaid HOA dues that amounted to less than $1,500. A shocking reality that most people don't realize is entirely legal in many states. The issue of fees is another hotbed of contention. Monthly HOA dues can range from as little as $50 to upwards of $1,000, depending on the community and the amenities offered. These fees are supposed to cover maintenance of common areas, repairs, security, and community improvements. But when the HOA board, often composed of volunteer homeowners, mismanages funds, the consequences can be severe. There have been documented cases of embezzlement, where HOA board members siphoned off thousands, even millions of dollars. In some cases, entire communities were left without functioning pools, deteriorating roads, or broken gates because the funds had mysteriously disappeared. Yet, not all HOAs are corrupt or power-hungry. In many communities, the HOA plays a vital role in preserving safety and quality of life. For instance, in gated communities prone to crime, the HOA may invest heavily in surveillance cameras, patrol services, and electronic gate systems. In others, the HOA organizes community events, barbecues, holiday parties, and charity drives, fostering a sense of belonging among neighbors. Still, the darker side of HOAs often overshadows these positives. One of the most controversial powers granted to HOAs is the ability to place a lien on a homeowner's property for unpaid dues or fines. If these remain unpaid, the HOA can, in many jurisdictions, proceed to foreclose on the property. This means a homeowner could potentially lose their house, even if their mortgage is fully paid off, over a few $100s in unpaid HOA fees. The secrecy within HOA boards is another point of friction. Many homeowners complain that board meetings are held at inconvenient times. Decisions are made behind closed doors, and financial records are not readily available. Some boards become echo chambers, dominated by a few individuals who wield disproportionate power. The result is a mini-government operating with minimal oversight, but with significant control over people's homes and lives. Then there are the unwritten rules. The social dynamics of the HOA stories abound, of neighbors weaponizing the HOA to settle personal grudges. An innocent parking violation turns into a formal complaint. A minor landscaping issue snowballs into escalating fines. Petty disputes between neighbors are fought not with words, but with HOA violation notices and letters from lawyers. Despite these stories, it's important to understand that the HOA is not inherently evil. It is, at its core, a reflection of the people who run it. A well-managed HOA with transparent processes and community-minded leadership can be a huge asset to a neighborhood. On the other hand, a poorly managed or authoritarian HOA can turn daily life into a bureaucratic nightmare. So, what should prospective homeowners do? The first step is to read the CC&RS thoroughly before purchasing property in an HOA-governed community. This document is legally binding. Ignorance of the rules is no defense. Many buyers are so focused on the appearance of the neighborhood, the shiny clubhouse, the sparkling pool, the manicured lawns, that they neglect to investigate how those things are maintained and controlled. Second, homeowners should consider attending HOA meetings, getting involved in decision-making, and even running for the board. The HOA only has as much power as its members allow it to have. When responsible, fair-minded people participate, the system works better for everyone. Third, understanding state laws that govern HOAs is critical. Each state has different statutes that limit or empower HOAs. Some states require transparency, open meetings, and financial disclosures. Others grant HOAs sweeping powers with little oversight. Knowing the legal landscape can make the difference between being a passive victim of overreach and being an empowered homeowner who can push back. Ultimately, the truth about HOAs is not black and white. It is a complex blend of structure and chaos, of community preservation and individual restriction. For some, the HOA is a protector of their investment and a builder of community spirit. For others, it is an Orwellian system that polices their choices and threatens their peace of mind. In the end, an HOA is only as good as the people who run it. Communities thrive when the HOA fosters transparency, fairness, and community spirit. They suffer when power is abused, when rules become tools of control rather than instruments of order. As the suburban dream continues to evolve, the role of the HOA will remain a contentious but unavoidable part of the conversation about what it means to be a homeowner. Whether a blessing or a curse, the HOA is here to stay, and understanding the truth behind its rules, fees, fines, and secrets is the first step toward making peace with or challenging the invisible government living right next